Good morning. Today is the day when we will be going into the development of our app. A lot of things to be done. It's early morning. I'm just having my cup of coffee, and there is a lot of tasks. I have to first plan the whole mobile app architecture, then I have to plan the server side, then I have to plan the web app side. So there are like three pieces I have to tie up together. So I have to make a solid plan what we want to do instead of just jumping right into coding. So my plan is in the first half of the day, I'll be just planning most of the things what I want to do and pick the most important task for the second half. And in the second half, I'm planning to like have a very basic mobile app working. It should not be connected to any server tasks we can do later, and then most probably we'll have an MVP ready. This video which I'm making will be done in like multiple parts, but I'll just stitch all of these in the single video. So yeah, I do not want to extend it for a long time, and yeah, let's go. Perfect. So now we are here and we are going to architect our app. There are so many pieces in this app that after looking at the designs, I have categorized it into one thing is like one of the pieces, the mobile app, which we will be making initially for just iOS. And because in React Native also there is like platform specific code or platform specific designs which you have to implement. So I do not want to waste too much time because we have to make the MVP out in next 3 days anyhow, because the deadline is just coming up. So what we'll do, first of all, I'll just make the end-to-end designs, the whole navigation flow. I'm using Expo router for the routing of the application, and there are like a lot of Expo libraries that will be uses in it. One which I have never used is Expo AV, which is like audio video foundation, because there is a player we have to build which can play the video, and sound manipulation needs to be done. And in the final there is rendering. For rendering I'm thinking I would be using Remotion, so everything will be happen on the server side. It's a bit like price wise it will be a bit pricey for me because I have to send the request to server and server will do the rendering instead of doing it on the client side, which I have noticed all the iOS apps do that because iPhone in general is a very powerful hardware. We can do that, but that will increase our time to make a whole rendering engine inside the application, and tweaking it would also be time consuming. So what I'm thinking is I'll just put everything onto the web, because building in Remotion on web is much faster, and doing the rendering on the lambdas is, again, I've done that before, the whole implementation, so it would be easier for that way. So task one, let's just build the UI without thinking about server or anything. And the second step would be implementing a server. For server, I'm thinking I'll be hosting this on the cloud functions in Firebase. I already have a boilerplate project for that, so I can use that. And for database, I'll be using Firestore. And what else? Nothing. No, that's it. So basically Firebase implementation for authentication. There will be no authentication in general. I will have an anonymous authentication on the client side in mobile app, and there is no like email authentication or phone authentication. So yeah, that's about it. That's the plan. Now let's go. I'll open Excalibur. I'll make a whole view. Okay, so we are back and let's architect the whole thing, right? And one quick information. So one quick information, this video being recorded with my own app, like human app. The main USP of this app was it's very quick, as a macOS app runs on your menu bar, and then you can like it traces wherever your mouse is moving. So if my mouse is moving in the screen, it might be tracking it, and all the click events, it automatically adds these zoom events. So yeah, as you have already seen, I clicked on this box. Just a quick plug on the app which I'm working on. Like it will be launched soon. I'll tell to the world about it once it launches. Meanwhile, yeah, let's say, so one of the things which we definitely want to build is a mobile app, which currently is one of the tasks I have. What are the things the app can do? So basically everything inside the app. Like say one of the things which we will be doing is gathering story related data, creating application, well, that would be part of it, and requesting for story with AI, and then editing of story. Then the final is download request for the video. These are the things which our app will be doing right now. Gathering of story related data, what I'll do is I'll just put this as one of the ecosystem, which is my own server. Call it this is Firestore, or we can call it this is Firebase. So we will be using, so for inside the Firebase, I'll be using a couple of things. Let's One is I'll be using Firebase, let's just say authentication. And another thing which I'll be using is so after authentication, Firestore. Then I also need to like keep these values internally. So for that, I'll be using storage. And for API request, I'll be using a cloud function. So I still have to figure it out. Like, do I need to via like there are these triggers which you can host on cloud function. So anytime any entry happens on my Firestore DB, that will automatically trigger the cloud function. Or can explicitly make an API. I am more inclined to make an API because I already have a template, and it becomes much easier. Like everything will be in control of lab, which API it's calling instead of me every time updating my server. I would give that responsibility to the app because if it's an API, I can parameters whenever I want. I can just, for example, if I'm seeing it's being misused, I can just disable the API, right? It's much easier that way, in my opinion. Yeah, even I can just replace the whole backend without using Firebase in future and without changing the client side. So these are the things. So yeah, in cloud function we will say we will host. So this is the Firebase ecosystem. Now this Firebase ecosystem needs to do a couple of things. So let's say this AI pipeline, I'll say AI pipeline. Right, what I want to do in the AI pipeline is one of the thing initially when the user requests, what we want is Claude AI create story. So here Claude will create a story. Then I want this story to be transcribed API. So transcribed API will run, and once the story is transcribed, I want it to be text to audio. I wanted to have an audio. All the parameters for audio will be given by our client, right? I'm thinking this video will become quite big because there's so many things to do in this one. So maybe it will be multi-part series. But today's task is just to work on the mobile app, but I definitely want this to like realize. Then after text to video, we will, based on the transcribed API, we want to generate images. So gen images. And this will take a parameter of how many. So that would be, let's say 12 to 20. So 12 to 20 images will be generated from here. And in the end, once everything is done, stitch all together. This is a very basic flow of our app. Like mobile app, this is Firebase for doing everything, AI pipeline. So Firebase will be talking, mostly doing all this thing. It will be talking to our Firebase, doing all this thing. Now, if we go a bit more internal, what I want to check that out. I think that's it. So on the mobile app side, we will have all these modules, and let's start coding now.
Okay, so I was getting a bit hungry and I thought let's make a salad before jumping on to building the development phase. Like I have already started doing the Excalidraw architecture. It's almost done. Like I'm still in the middle of it. I don't know, this is something new I'm trying to record while doing some tasks. I don't know how quick this will be, or this could be a nightmare on editing. Okay, so here is the salad. This is how it looks.
So now, as you can see here, we have made a lot of progress. So what we can do is once we click on this, we can see the splash screen, AI video generator, click on get start. there is this slider. I'm using React Native view pager here, which was pretty simple, and I created like imported all these designs from Figma directly. I have also added one like an array of some samples because I think this would make more sense. And while I was doing it, I thought how would it be like if user can directly start creating the whole thing from here, and they can create one video as part of the onboarding. So yeah, that is something which I'm finalizing, but I'm pretty happy with this screen. Then you can press on continue, then you can pick your style whichever you want. You have a screen. So currently this doesn't work, like this is just sample voiceovers which I have added, and then you can press on continue. I don't know what's happening to this language bar. I'll have to see this, and then you can press on continue. Surprise me. So when you press on surprise me, it just randomly adds some prompts, because maybe someone is just trying it out and they want to see how it works. They don't want to type anything, and then they can press on continue. So currently continue doesn't work. So yeah, this is the whole flow of the screen. I have also created the home screen. Yeah, so the home screen is also created, but it's hidden after this onboarding. I'll have to make some changes. So far pretty good. Like this took almost 4 to 5 hours of constant coding the whole day, and the whole UI app with iOS. I was also stuck with one issue with the pods. It took my like 45 minutes to 1 hour for debugging that, and we are at a very good stage right now. So in the next video, what we will be going through is we'll be building it, like finishing up the whole mobile app, and then working on the server side, and then connecting it. So I'm planning tomorrow I'll just connect it with the server hosted, because server template I already have. So yeah, we are pretty good, and yeah, let's go outside. I want some fresh air. We'll come back. I'll just wrap up the whole day then. Okay, so I just came back from the beach, and I was just reading a book on there for almost 1.5 hours. Currently I'm reading this new book which is called The Three Body Problem. So there is a Netflix series out, but I wanted to read the book. I heard a lot of good reviews about it, and I'm also doing it because I want to add this habit of reading, and I was reading too much of non-fiction, and I want to read only fiction for the next 2-3 months. This is I'm doing as an experiment, because I've been too addicted to short form content, because I'm feeling like my concentration is now not that great, because I've been consuming so much of these short dopamine reels and shorts. So I want to stick to one book for a very long time and try to improve that. I'm just recording it with my iPhone front camera, so the voice and the video is not that great. But again, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm making another video soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.